Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace and Tails podcast. My name is Sue and I am a maker from Northwestern Wisconsin. I would like to say first off, Happy Mother's Day. Forgot to mention it last week, but you know, the saying still goes. To all the mothers out there, past, present, and future, congratulations. Happy Mother's Day. We traveled for Mother's Day and it was a very long day. So today, I am going to talk about 2 new cast-ons, 1 gauge swatch, and 2 whips. Yay! First off, I'm just going to go right into the whips. I did get some work done on both of them. It doesn't really look like a lot of work went into it, but there has been some. The first one I'm going to talk about is the vegetable patch cardigan. I'm working on the sleeves. It is coming along. Obviously, I did make some progress because you can see how much I have knit since the last time we discussed. I'm going to move that marker up now so it keeps me honest and shows me that I'm actually doing some good around here. Now, it's coming along. I have to finish the increasing part and then knit to a certain length. I have looked at the pattern and I'm looking at my body and I don't want it to be like over my hand down here. I do want it to sit at my wrist. So I'm going to have to do some measuring once I'm done with the increases and see how it is. It is I believe a drop shoulder design. Pretty sure it's a drop shoulder design. So I can, change the sleeve length to suit my needs, which will come up on a different project I'm working on. I am using Wool of the Andes by Knit Picks in the color Shire Heather. Let me make it look pretty. I mean, it is beautiful. It's like a deep mossy green with lots of little blues and flecks of golden colors in it. I am not affiliated with Knit Picks. I just like their yarn. It's coming along. You use the same needles throughout the whole pattern. I got gauge with using a US 6. This is the old Knitter's Pride version, Zing. It's really nice. I really enjoy this pattern. It's coming along. I just need to finish this sleeve and finish the next one and then block them, sew them up, and do the I think it's a shawl collar, button band shawl collar, and also the tie. And this pattern is by Anni Howard. I did find it on Ravelry, so you could just get it from there. And yeah, I bought this yarn probably 3 summers ago, and I'm getting close to being done. And I cannot wait to wear this in the fall. It'll be so comfy, cozy, and wonderful. It is a simple cable pattern. I have it memorized by now. I thought about taking it up with me on our trip up to the cities, but I had to keep track of my increases, and that's just too much for card knitting. Card knitting or card crocheting has to be the most absolute simplest, smallest thing. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is another ongoing whip, and I did not bring this either with me on my trip, but I have gotten a lot done with it. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed worsted in Dove Heather and Barn Door Heather. I believe this has been discontinued. I got them on a really good sale when they have their $2 for $6 sales. And so I got enough of the Dove Heather to make 1 more of these sweaters, and that is my plan. I'm very convoluted right now. I am presently working on a sleeve. I got almost a full color done this morning. That story will come later, why I was working on this and not the other thing I should have been working on, because it was driving me crazy. So it's a drop shoulder design. You pick up the stitches here. They give you a number to pick up for your size, and well, I had 15 more stitches than needed. So I thought, I'm not going to redo it because it's a pain in the butt. I'm just going to pick it up and knit one round. And as I knit that round, I'm going to decrease those stitches to get the exact amount that I need. So that's what I did. And you can't really tell. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So, you know, make it easy on yourself. If you have to pick up, 10 more stitches, just decrease on the next round. It's your sweater. You can do what you want. That's what I said to myself. It's your sweater. You can do what you want. Case in point, this stripe pipe sweater is by Veronica Lindbergh, aka Kutovakika on YouTube. She does waist shaping on hers. I did not want waist shaping on mine. I have my reasons. And I also decided, I'm try and show this without it. I have a bunch of yarn hanging out here, all tangled up. I did not prepare. My Boy Scout dad would be not happy. For those who know, you know. Anyway, so I started doing a ribbing. Now in her pattern, she does, I believe, a twisted ribbing. However, I just didn't even know that. I did not read the pattern at one point. I just kept on going and I just did a 1x1 rib. It's what's going to be on this sweater. This sweater is going to be a 1x1 rib, not a twisted rib, because, that's what I'm going to do. So I have the stitches on hold for the front and back, and I am going to do a split hem. My thought is I have two thoughts. One, make them equal so they're both like 2 or 3 inches long. Two, second thought, make one higher, like the front higher than the back. Sometimes that's nice. Sometimes you end up sitting on it and then you choke yourself. I don't like that. So I did not know where I should end on the ribbing, and I wanted to work on the sleeves. So I just kept I tied the yarn on the tied on tubing here. I just tied it around and kind of cinched it in, and I'm just sticking it in the sweater as I'm working on the sleeve because, it's a work in progress. So right now this hem is about 2 inches, and I'm debating, do I want to go to 2.5 inches? Do I want it at 2 inches? Or do I want to go all the way to 3 inches? So that's a thing. Now I used Knit Picks Sunstruck wood needles, size 6. And when I am not affiliated. I know I said this already. I'm just saying it again because of YouTube. I found sales. I'm a sale kind of girl. And I thought to myself, either I had a discount code or they were on sale or I got a gift card. I don't remember. It's been a while. But I decided to buy the regular size and the shorties at the same time, because I know from my own past of knitting things, knitting sleeves in the round, sometimes you want a long needle and sometimes you want a short needle on the other side. Sometimes you can only do the short needles due to the circumference of your project. So I have the same needles but in a larger size. And for the ribbing, I went down to a US 4, which I mentioned in my last podcast. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. There is some weirdness right here, but I'm hoping it with blocking, it kind of just mellows out. So that is my stripe pipe. It is really pretty. It is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it is a pleasure to work on, especially because I know I make 8 rounds and then I change the color. There is some decreasing in the sleeve that happens, so I have to pay attention to the pattern, but I'm just going to make the sleeves and then decide how long I want my cuff, and then I'll do the hem or finish the hem, and then I'll do the collar, and then I'll be wham bam, thank you ma'am, done with this sweater and casting on the other two colors probably right away. I really have enjoyed this pattern. The pattern is easy to follow, just like the vegetable patch cardigan. That one is also easy to follow. I don't seem to have any of my stuff that I normally have over here close by. I'll put pictures. You know the drill. Okay, so I'm eating a pancake. I'm hungry. Work was a long day. Work was a really long day. Anyway, so we had to travel for Mother's Day, and I got to knit in the car. I cannot watch the road. There were a couple few, that means many, a couple few Wisconsin idioms. There was a couple few, which means many, situations where my heart leaped and jumped and I was scared. So I focused on this. Look how pretty. It's a 2x2 rib. I am using my favorite Ann Bud pattern. Funny enough, I just found out, even though I've liked her so much, I never even thought to search for her on YouTube. But YouTube obviously pays attention to how many times you say a person's name, like Ann Bud. And they showed me other interviews she gave on YouTube. Have I had a chance to watch them that? Absolutely not. Life is too busy right now to do that. So I'll put this like here. One of my favorite books. I have really thought about this. I want a shorter cardigan than my past ones. I know that this yarn, which is the Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca Blend Sport Weight, I know that this has a tendency to really be drapey. I do not know how it will be being held two strands together, which I'm doing with this one. I have a lot of this yarn because I was able to get it all for $2 a skein. So I have a lot of this yarn, and I thought, I just need to use it up, and I've been wanting to, do I have it here? No, I do not have the gauge swatch. I made a gauge swatch, probably around Christmas. Maybe it was spring break. I think it was Christmas though. I made a gauge swatch out of a different color leftover that I had, and I really like the fabric that it created. It's a dense, it's squishy, it's really nice. So I thought, I'm gonna make a cardigan out of this, and it'll be great to wear. And then I keep thinking about, well, what size do I want? I don't want it to be too short, too long, too small, too big, etc. So I have decided to use the stitch count of size 42, which is my normal, the sleeve stitch count for size 40, which is normal, but I have looked at the finish measurements for all the sizes because, for example, this is for the child size. I'm just going to show. They give you a pattern between child sizes is 26 inches to 34 inches bust circumference, and then they give you all the measurements. So I looked at the adult sizes, and I figured out that for the body length of my sweater, I am going to do size 40 inch bust measurements. For the sleeves, I am going to, wait, I'm looking at this. Yeah. Oh, for the armscye. So when you're making the body, you have the body and then you have to do the armhole because I'm doing a set-in sleeve. So the body length is going to be size 40. But I'm going to go down to the armscye of a size 36. that might change a little. And it's basically just the size of it. So that will be okay because I plan to do the sleeve length of a 36 as well as the cap of the sleeve will be a 36. So I'm kind of mixing and matching size 40 for the sleeves as well as the length of the sleeve will be shorter because I kind of want it to be right above my wrist. I don't want it to go too far. If I can make it right above my wrist and then it like with my other upcycle alpaca cardigan in titanium, I love it, but the sleeves just keep on growing. So I'm really thinking about like if I make it shorter in length, it will also grow to the size I need. So I decided to do this. I got this, it basically makes a worsted weight fabric. The color is hazelnut. I believe that this has been discontinued, but you know, maybe they'll bring it back some other time. I also learned that certain upcycle alpaca blend skeins are more rustic than others. Like my titanium is super smooth. It's not itchy at all. It is just such a lovely piece to wear. My cherry sweater, if I have pictures, I'll put it in. My cherry sweater has a lot of itch to it. And I think it's just because of the wool blend that they use. So this is alpaca, wool, and acrylic, all about the same amounts. I think it's like 33% each, one being one more, and I think that's the wool is like 1% more. Now, I remember hearing this somewhere. I can't remember who said it, but an older knitter once taught me to, if you have scratchy fabric after you make something, just when you're wet blocking it, wet block it in conditioner. You don't have to, and I don't know, I did it once and it worked out really well. And I don't think you had to wash it, like rinse it out. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Well, anyway, it's a cardigan and it's going to go over clothes, so it's going to be just fine. So this is the ribbing. It is about, I think, 3 inches. I want it to be kind of chunky, and I want it to be not as long as my other ones. It is a lovely yarn to work with. I am using my Knit Picks Sunstruck needles, size, what size? A size 6. Lovely. I just love them. Nice join. They're circular needles. They are the interchangeable set. Find the deals. That's what I say. When I buy stuff, I find the deals and it works out. So that's about it. I worked on this. It kept me very occupied on the road. It kept me from, you know, shuddering each time we got really close to a car. We almost got into a few accidents and it was just not fun at all. So the second thing I cast on, I did not gauge swatch for it. Living dangerously. I got this pattern. Oh, there you go. I got this pattern a while ago. I also have the bralette, and my daughter loves camisoles. And I originally bought this yarn the summer before the demise of Joann's, and it was on a clearance rack. The K&C hand dyed 100% cotton. It was at 472 yards. Now, looking at the pattern, was thinking of a different word, but I was thinking statistics, and that's not true. Looking at the pattern parameters, I'm making her a certain size, and I should have more than enough yarn. And it is a fingering weight, which is, right, yeah. I mean, you can use different weights of this, but you know, it's fine to use that. So it was in a hank, and I wound it by hand, and it's this beautiful, like pink and yellow, sunny and orangey, and there's a little bit of white in it. And I am using my Knit Picks 4 square Sunstruck laminated birch needles, not affiliated. I really like how pointy the tips are. I really like it. I have it on a very small circumference. I was very nervous about twisting the yarn. I don't think I did. So, because I knit back and forth a few rows. I think I did like 3. Wait, let me see. Where is it? I don't know. Where? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it looks like about 3 rows. I did not knit in the round until I got to row 4, and then I connected the 2 to make a circle. Why didn't I gauge swatch? I didn't want to. I figured the size is going to be big enough. I figured that the 3x3 ribbing is going to be forgiving. I only have this much yarn, and I just didn't want to sit and gauge swatch. And so I just used the recommended needle size, which is a US 4. The 4 square needles are good for hand pain, hand tiredness when using like natural fibers. Let's see if you can see. You can feel it more than see it. Also, they are a little larger than a regular needle. So I'm just like, you know, it's going to be fine. This is just kind of testing out this pattern to see how it works. And, you know, will she wear it? I hope so. If not, after like 5 years, I'll frog it and use it in something else. But, you know, it is a beautiful color. You know, if she uses it to sleep in, I won. So it's more of me testing this pattern than actually making sure everything is perfect. So it's so far so good. I really enjoy the pattern itself. You make it bottom up. A lot of people have made this camisole, and I just thought it would be nice. I also would like a camisole, and it is pretty size inclusive. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. And this is also really good at mindless knitting. I did not bring this on the trip because it was just so new, and I brought other things, and I worked on those. So the next thing I did was a gauge swatch. And the gauge swatch is from a yarn I bought 3 to 4 years ago. It's a very loose gauge swatch. I did get gauge using my 4 square laminated birch needles from Knit Picks size 9. It is a very loose gauge, and I am making the Ranunculus. I know I've been wanting to make this for years and years and years. The cast on is kind of giving me a hard time, and I don't understand it right now, so I might have to watch some videos. My aunt, who is also making this, one of my aunts knits, and she is making this, and she's already on her second Ranunculus. A lot of people like it. I mean, I really love that yoke detail, and I'm just thinking, like, you know, I would like it to be like over a sundress or something like that, because it's see-through. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty. This morning I thought, I'm just going to cast on and just start and see how it goes. And I put it down and worked on my stripe pipe instead because that was driving me crazy. This yarn is a linen silk blend. It is a discontinued yarn. Little Knits in Seattle, where I got it from. Barocco Chai. 56% linen and 40% silk. So it's going to be a very beautiful. I bought a lot of this because it was on a super sale, and that's because it was being discontinued. So according to them, it is a worsted weight yarn. It is beautiful. It's very papery feeling. It's very stiff, but it is gray and purple, and it has a lot of slubs in it. It's beautiful. So I have been holding on to this, trying to find the perfect thing to make out of it, not knowing what I wanted to make out of it. Do I make it out, you know, just a regular tee? But I think it deserves a little bit of fanciness. So I've decided to make the Ranunculus. I have gotten literally the cast on. This is 60 stitches, and I did a long tail cast on, and I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure if I like it. And I was getting very confused. I was getting a little irritated. So I just put it off to the side. And I will figure that out later. I did wet block this. I'm going to have to be careful on how I knit it. Those 4 square needles are good because they are very pointy, and this has a tendency, can you see, to split really easily. Also, I have to be mindful of my stitches because they are a little wonky. I just literally washed this, or wet blocked it. I soaked it, I squeezed out the water, I laid it flat and didn't even pin it. I just laid it flat, and it it actually kind of got a little sideways. So I don't know. I think it'd be really pretty, like over a white sundress. Oh, that'd be pretty. Anyway, so I did that. The last thing I'm going to discuss today is the other thing I brought with me up to the cities. I did work on it. I did bring some other stuff, but I didn't work on those. But I did work on this, and it's coming along, and that's my Musselburgh Hat. And I'm using DPNs, and I don't know how much I got done, but I did about, I'd say, a good inch in the car, a little bit sitting around waiting for stuff. I made a lasagna. I brought it up, and my plan, and I'm using Knit Picks palette in Briar Twist, which is leftovers from a sweater I made. It is 100% Peruvian wool. It's creating a nice dense fabric, and with this being held double thick, because you put the hat within itself. This is going to be a very nice wind block from the cold winters here in Wisconsin. And I'm just going around and around and around and around. So really not much to talk about it as of yet. I did all the increases. I think, I don't remember. I wrote all this stuff down and I don't have it close hand. So anyway, that's about it. yeah, that's about it today. I am happy I cast on new things. I thought to myself, why wait? You know, you want to get things done. Just prioritize certain things in time. Like, do you spend your time, you know, what do you do for a living? Do you spend your time on your off time reading or exercising or knitting or watching TV or spending time online? Whatever. Prioritize your time to do the things that bring you joy. So I'm prioritizing my time to things that bring me joy. And this new cast on cardigan has brought me a lot of joy. And I hope all the other projects I've been working on get done quickly. We are winding down to the last, I think it's like close to 15 days left of school. I don't remember. Someone said it was 18 and that was a few days ago. So about 15 days left of school, and it's coming quick. And then I start summer school, and then I have a couple months off of school, but I still work the food truck. And that's what I'm prioritizing my time. Work and this, and taking care of my home. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope that you find the pattern that brings you the most amount of joy. And even if it brings you a lot of chaos and headaches like my Ranunculus is right now, the end result should be full of joy, right? That's what I'm telling myself anyway. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking, and thank you for the comments. I truly appreciate it. I hope you're all doing well. Until next time, bye for now.